Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. About 3 o'clock, January 1st, Wednesday, 30 degrees, 0, 30. I have my batteries are charged, which is nice. Look at that, see that? Barely charged. Yellow lights coming on. So, what am I up to today? Well, I wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, particularly Happy New Year. We managed to get through Christmas in one piece, everybody who's watching this video. So, folks, Happy New Year. And I wanted to say it from up here in the garage. Why? I don't know. It just seems like the right place to be. So, I managed to walk on up, make it to the garage. So, once again, folks, Happy New Year. I wanted to take this this moment, and hopefully this video won't get all that long, to let you guys know why I make these YouTube videos. I'm not a very organized person, not exceptionally organized, and I have a tendency to take on project after project after project after project and never really make progress on any of them, right? I mean, sometimes you guys could probably see that with some of the stuff that I work on in here. Since I've joined YouTube and started shooting some videos of things I'm doing and trying to get done and so forth, I find that I'm actually a bit more organized. I'm actually able to look at the videos. I actually plan, you know, to do things and so forth, because it's really not easy to wake up in the morning and pick up a camera and shoot a video that is worth shooting, and quite honestly that anybody finds worth watching, unless you do some planning, some thinking, what am I doing today? How am I going to get this done? Do I own the parts to get this done? You know, do I need to buy some parts? You know, that actually takes a certain amount of organization. And I found that since I've joined YouTube, it's really helped me get organized and move forward on a lot of the stuff I like to play with. Sometimes I'll shoot a video of something, and then, you know, it takes me a little while to get back to it. Or, you know, I'll talk that, yeah, I got to do such and such, and it might take me a little while to get back to it. But quite honestly, over the last year, I joined YouTube. It was a year ago, Thanksgiving. I've gotten more done. I've moved more projects forward. I've also picked up a lot of projects. I mean, I've brought home a lot of crap, right? I mean, everything, yeah, those three, this was floating around outside, but I mean, like, a lot of this stuff showed up in the last year. So, though a lot more stuff has come home, a lot more stuff has moved forward. I've made more progress on it. But I mean, there are things, and I'll flash the video camera on some of them, that I've been meaning to make progress on, and they just haven't bubbled up to the top yet. I mean, excuse my rocking gant here. You know, there's a lot of things that I really wanted to do much more with, but you know, you do the best you can. Particularly this year, I've really had to kind of push and get some stuff organized before the winter set in, and I've been in some respects pretty good about that. In some other respects, I didn't do very well at that. I mean, some of the tractors I only got halfway into the shed before I ran out of time and energy and couldn't do much more with them, right? Well, so that's what I'm up to. You know, the other thing is, I find YouTube to be an important resource for information a lot of the people that watch my channel are interested in the same stuff I am, and then they try to do or have already done some of the things I've done, and we can kind of learn about them together. I knew out there somewhere that because I found internet threads that there's particularly one character who started to use those cheap China CDIs on the 200S 185 engines. So I found that, the cheap AC, no electronic advanced CDIs. I found some threads on that, so I knew that existed. But the next logical step after that would be to try to put a DC unit on something. And and I spent quite a bit of time cruising YouTube, and there was William, I forgot the Shatton I think it was. I found his channel where he's got a something about wiring CDI units, and he doesn't go into the detail of what he tried to do, what he was up to, but he commented on one of my videos saying, yeah, kind of tried this and it didn't work well. He had trouble. He seemed to indicate he was having trouble with the potential of the Hall effect, which I don't really understand, because that should be like a switch, and that shouldn't cause him trouble. But he also said something about the CDI, the DC CDI burning up quickly, and I'm not quite sure why it did that. And he said that it was hard to start, and I kind of got the idea he put it on a Polaris, I guess. And Polarises come in two different flavors. They come in the 4-stroke and the 2-stroke variety. So if he tried to put a DC CDI unit of the 4-stroke variety on this 2-stroke, I can kind of see why he might have been having trouble getting it started, and the 2-stroke revs so much higher. I could understand why perhaps the extra firings, right, you're firing twice as often, why that would take it out. Anyway, so I sent him some questions. Well, I sent him a comment that, hey, I knew somebody out there did this before I did, and I asked him some more questions about clarifying, what his experience has been, because I think it could work. And a lot of times, as I work on projects, all this crap kind of ties together. There was a question that was about this guy. I think it was this guy. I'm going to assume it was this guy. This guy was part of a huge batch deal. I think I spent $1,000, $950 to $1,000 for all of it, and this came with that deal. And it was actually a big chunk of the expense. I paid $450 for this rig. I got it. The story I was told was the engine was all rebuilt, and I've done compression checks on it, and it appears as if the engine has all been rebuilt. It's got the 2-cylinder Robin on it. Yeah, you really can't see it well. Anyway, so, oh God, I got it home and spent some time with it, and realized the guy who owned it was a shop teacher in a high school, and he had done a bunch of troubleshooting before I got to it, and the wiring harness was completely jacked. So I spent some time going through the wiring harness, and I got it wired up, and I went to spin it over, and it would go fast, low, fast, low, fast, low. And if you got it spinning, it would actually spin at a halfway decent speed, and then it would, if you stopped spinning it and tried something else and went to do it, you kind of had to turn it half over by hand. So it's got a starter problem. He indicated that he changed the brushes on the starter. So it might have a dead starter problem. Now, let's start talking about that rig. He also indicated that he thought it was firing on one cylinder and not the other. And if you're familiar with the way those work, they use an electronic ignition, and each time they go around, each RPM, both cylinders fire, but one of them's on the compression stroke, one of them's on the exhaust stroke. So each time around, they both fire. So I'm not quite sure how it could be firing on one cylinder without the other, unless the coil is bad. And he said no. He checked the ignition coil. He changed the ignition coil. There's an old ignition coil. So anyway, so it's got an electrical problem, 1. It's got a starter problem, 2, right? And 3, the carburetor seems to be pretty hacked up in it. So when I put the numbers together on that, I basically have to put 175 into a starter if I can't, I've been meaning to tear the starter out and spend some time looking at the armature and seeing what kind of shape it was in. But if I can't get that current starter to work, I got to start at 175 for a starter. If it needs an igniter, that's another 150. An igniter is basically a DC CDI unit, which is kind of one of the reasons why I've been so interested in these CDI units, because if I can hack a $20 CDI unit into that thing and make it go, that would be the better way of making things work. And the carburetor, I'm not quite sure what to do with that. I mean, I could always hack a Honda carburetor onto it if I have to. But the other thing you start scratching your head about is how stock do you want to keep it. Not that I ever plan on selling it, but if I want any value, right? It's most valuable if you walk up to it, turn the key, have it start up, and take it for a ride. If you turn the key and a China clone engine starts up and it, does some weird things, if you can make it appear to be stock, I guess it wouldn't hurt it too much to have a China clone engine in it, or, a Honda engine in it. But, people want those things to work around their yard. They don't want a science project if you're going to resell it. Though, once again, I'd probably never resell it. So, there's that guy. This guy here is a 2-cycle. Belonged to the Knights. I'm not sure if the Knights go with Marist College or who the Knights go with. This one here was a runner. This is a club car. This was a runner. And for some reason, and no good reason, the ignition decided to soil the bed. You can see the can of starting fluid right there. But I used to really enjoy running this around. There's some videos of me doing donuts with it and all. That's one there with the change of back tires. I think that's a Yamaha. That has a complete engine but frame rot. And then from there, all these are in fairly ugly condition. The other golf carts are in fairly ugly condition of needing everything from a complete engine to they're just parts. I think there's one other club car that's more or less complete. These 2 electrics here. That guy. And that other Easy Go electric over there. I would have really liked to throw gas motors into them, centrifugal clutches, limit them to 12 miles per hour, and turn them into demolition derby cars. That would just be a piss for around the property. But, time, right? All kinds of great ideas, no time to make them happen. Most of the stuff in here is just similar situations. Most of this stuff are these 2 golf carts that are not wearing engines, and the other ones there aren't. Anyway, folks, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to bring you out. I have to walk my laps up and down the driveway. I am recovering, but it's interesting. The old energy level. If I find that I'm out doing things, I'm really pretty good and next thing I'll know, I'll hit like a brick wall. I'll just get completely exhausted, at which time, I have to go in and go to sleep. It's not really in my interest to be out pushing it, because that's when one could take a fall or, crash a car or do something stupid. So one has to be careful. I find that when and it's weird though with the recovery on this thing. I'll go so far and I'll be like, wow, I'm really doing great, man. I'm kicking some butt here. And then it's just like exhaustion will sneak up on me, and then I'll know, been running wide open a little too long here. I got to take it easy. Starting tomorrow, we're supposed to get a snowstorm, and one, I guess, could kind of see some of that haze in the sky out there. I'm hearing anywhere between 5 and 18 inches. The weathermen are really great here by me at figuring out nothing. If you want to know what the weather is, you better look out the window, because I don't even think the weatherman could get the current weather correct, never mind future weather. I did take a run out this morning, and hence why I got tired. I filled the car up with gas. I bought an extra 5 gallons of gas just in case I have to run the generator, snowblower, and everything else. So I added 5 gallons of gas to the hoard. There is some gas floating around. And as a matter of fact, it seems that every one of my containers of gas is about halfway full. Right? None of them are empty, so it was a pain in the neck. Now I'm out shaking every container and sniffing it to see if it's got gas or diesel in it, and until I finally found an empty container, which should have diesel in it, but I had to put gas in it because I needed gas. So anyway, I obviously have to spend a little time going through my container situation and cleaning that act up also. So, I got the generator ready to go. I got the snowblower ready to go. I, brought some food in the house. When it's going to snow, it seems that I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I've got some nice fresh sliced Italian bread and a nice fresh container of strawberry jelly and creamy peanut butter, so I can eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches until I go into a coma while it snows outside. I don't know, people like to do different things. I like my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches when it snows. So I got gas for the generator. I got my peanut butter and jelly. Cooking a little dinner tonight to celebrate the, New Year holiday. And that's where we are. Hope to resume normal videos tomorrow. And actually, I want to build that CDI thing tomorrow and see where it's going to put me. Folks, live, love, and have a great time. Remember, keep your tires down, your tracks down, your handlebars and steering wheels up. Stay out of the buckwheat. Careful with the snow if this is going to hit you guys first, or in a lot of other places you got your own snowstorms, not even this one. Take care now, folks, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye. Oh, thanks for watching, subscribing, and commenting.